And here we go, spawning in with another World Team League match, starting up at the top left for Dragon KaiZi Gaming. It's JieShi. And his opponent spawning down on the bottom right for Team ABYDOS. It is Nightmare. ABYDOS, of course, basically Team NV. Now, these two players, so we are in week 2 of the World Team League, by the way. These two players, certainly the weakest player that's been fielded from their team this week, but that is not to say they are weak players. Both of them, particularly in this matchup, have taken down some very heavy hitters. Specifically, both of them in the weekly cups have been able to beat herO in recent history. I personally put Nightmare as having, I would say, the second best Blink micro in Korea of all Protoss players. I've kind of, that's kind of what I've given him. But he's more than just that. He's also got some great Adept harass. He's just generally a very competent, capable player, and is always going to be a bit of a threat regardless of who he's up against. And to that point, he had himself a hell of a week last week where he was able to take a game off of Raynor and really paved a path to victory for ABYDOS versus Basilisk. Now, unfortunately for Basilisk, or well, unfortunately for ABYDOS, very fortunately for Basilisk, SOS was not able to get the job done versus Trigger. Trigger was able to get the map required, and of course, herO got his 2-0 over Cure. But at the about halfway through game 3, it was 1-1, and Cure was up about, I want to say he was up like 20 supply on herO, and was pushing the momentum. Wasn't able to take the win off of that, but he certainly had opportunities and very, very easily could have taken that down. Okay, let's talk about this game a little bit here. We both see both players going for 1 gate expand, as to be expected. Nightmare did go for a gas steal on JieShi, which is rather interesting. JieShi, because he gets the Nexus down, it really doesn't impact him too much. He is going to be a little bit lower in that gas count, but actually, no, he really isn't. Yeah, once he started his Stalker, no, it's like very negligible. And he's able to almost instantly mine from the gas at the natural. So yeah, he only loses a little bit of gas mining. I really don't think that's worth it for Nightmare, unless you also deny the Nexus. But then you can sometimes go too far and force a 1-base all-in, at which point you've then kind of baited your opponent into all-inning you when you've committed more resources into other things. Now, as we move into the mid-game, they're going to be relatively similar on probes. Looks like JieShi got a little small teensy bit of a lead, but very minor. However, notable is that Nightmare went for a quick second gate and now adds on a Twilight Council, whereas JieShi is getting a very quick robotics facility and a couple more gates. I wonder if we're going to see a quick War Prism off this. He's also building... How many sentries does he have? He might go for like a sentry drop. That is something I don't think I've seen in this matchup in a very long time. There are situations where it is possible, but very rarely with a War Prism. That is a brilliant defense right there from Nightmare, by the way, as he uses the Adept Shade to block his opponent's Adept Shade. And since he dropped his Adept Shade later, he guarantees that his opponent will not be able to get through. And what that does is that saves you 25 minerals on having to build and cancel a pylon. As well, you just don't have that other 75 minerals tied up for the period. So it's a nice little defense, and I approve. 2, 3, 4 thumbs up. Never enough thumbs up for stuff like that. It's little plays that are just nice. You're literally trading mechanics for money. Now, if you didn't have the Adept, that's one thing, because obviously then if you have to warp in the Adept, then you have to do it 5 times to justify the cost, if it doesn't do anything else. Now, we are going to see this little bit of harass coming on in. It is 4 Adepts in that War Prisms. That's going to be a lot of anti-probe DPS. Blink not quite done. We will see, though, the pylon in position to spot this, and that's good news for Nightmare. He's already got a couple of Stalkers in position. We are going to see the War Prism drop these units out anyways. JieShi a little bit late to start targeting probes. Oh, and the probes... Oh, hang on. We actually have 2 Adepts in the natural as well. Okay, that's why JieShi was focused a little bit elsewhere. Meanwhile, the rest of the Adepts actually do shade to that natural. This is a lot of dead probes right now. But JieShi has thrown away a lot of army as well. So if you look at the army supply at the moment, this is favoring Nightmare by a decent bit, and he's got Blink. There's a lot of potential for a counterattack, especially with a Hallucinated Phoenix, allowing Nightmare to jump up into the main base. I believe there's already one Immortal out for JieShi, and he's got to be Chrono Boosting that second one. He needs this to hold. This is going to be a scary little push right here. Oh, he blinks to the bottom side, shows where the Stalkers are, does find these 2 Adepts. And you know what? Nightmare's already rebuilt the probe count. This is kind of fine for Nightmare from a macro perspective. He does blink into the main base. Meanwhile, Adept in the natural will get forced away. Stalkers are going to be forced out pretty shortly, but not before he loses a fair number of them. Okay, well, I want to say he lost like 3 or 4 Stalkers there. That was quite expensive. Really don't want to be losing that much stuff for really what equates to a pylon. Now, this is what you want to be doing with these Stalkers is trading your Blink cooldown and taking advantage of the fact that your opponent does not have Blink. That will be quickly rectified, though, as JieShi's Blink and +1 weapons are going to be finishing up momentarily here. Nightmare, still just trying to kite as best as possible. JieShi needs to get those Immortals to the front, and he does. Now, another thing to mention as well is that Nightmare's third Nexus is way faster than that of JieShi, so JieShi kind of needs to get something done with this timing. Charge not quite done. Once it does finish up, those Immortals are going to be a lot less valuable, but for now, they are quite powerful. Ooh, Force Fields coming in from JieShi here, but now we see the counter Force Fields from Nightmare. However, with the 2 Immortals on this side, this is scary. More Stalkers warping on in. That means no Zealots. Despite the fact the charge is completing, we're going to see a couple of Zealots being warped in here from JieShi to try and tank. There's the Blink forward. We'll grab the War Prism, and we're going to see the Immortals getting target fired down, and these Zealots adding on a lot of DPS from Nightmare. Is it going to be enough, though? JieShi does have a lot of stuff. Battery Overcharge will get popped just as the shield battery runs out of energy, and that is going to be just enough, I believe, for Nightmare to hold this. However, JieShi is now up 8 workers and still has that upgrade advantage. The only advantage I feel that Nightmare has right now is charge and a small army supply advantage, but he might be able to leverage this for something. This charge upgrade actually going to be quite impactful. However, there's just not that many Stalkers right here for Nightmare, and this really doesn't look that scary after all. Yeah, I think JieShi, he might just have this one. At the very least, he has certainly held this attack, especially with no War Prism. There's really nothing Nightmare can do to continue this up. And if JieShi ends up on +2 weapons versus 0-0, oh, even that last Stalker going down. Yeah, if that happens, we are in for a world of pain for Nightmare here. JieShi adding on charge as well. And you know what? I'd like to see him rebuild the War Prism and time out an attack with that +2 weapons, because it looks really strong if he pairs those together. I really just don't know what Nightmare is going to be able to do. Nightmare, for his part, is adding on a Templar Archives and does have enough gas for 2 Archons right away. But hang on, he is... wait, this could be a little bit funky. No, okay, Nightmare is continuing forward on the left side, and JieShi is retreating. This is a very small number of Stalkers. Like, really small. Nightmare needs to get a lot done with a very small amount of stuff. And, oh, he's got to get out of here. We've seen the Stalkers on the minimap blinking towards the left. Nightmare, he needs to recall right now. Right now. Oh, JieShi's going to blink on him. Yeah, it's a little too late. And he loses 2 Stalkers. He should have recalled out. The thing is, he saw that with the Observer in the middle, as the WTL Observer points out. And now that, well, there it is. There's that War Prism. Now that +2 weapons and charge are finishing up, Nightmare's going to need a miracle to try and hold. These Archons are going to need to get some massive splash damage for there to be any chance for Nightmare here, and I just don't see how that happens. JieShi would really have to fumble this attack. Now, we do have a really nicely placed Observer. Oh, Zealots are going to try and swing in from the back. That could actually be pretty impactful, but if JieShi recognizes what's going on, well, hang on. This is... Okay, he is going to blink to the left. That is the correct call. Zealots will slaughter the Zealots of JieShi on the right side. But there's just so many Blink Stalkers here. It was a cute maneuver from Nightmare, but he needed to split the Zealots, I think, a little bit more with the main army. Still, I mean, the army supplies are even, but it's also that +2 advantage, and that I just don't see how Nightmare can deal with this. We do finally have a single Immortal that is going to provide some kind of anti-Stalker DPS. Nightmare, funnily enough, actually is getting into a 4th base, and JieShi is not, which is very strange. Finally, an Observer shows up and will show the Observer of Nightmare, so Nightmare won't get that free spy op that he's had this whole time. But JieShi is just wisely staying at range, picking away with these Stalkers. At this point, he can force the engagement by attacking that Nexus a little bit harder. Oh, there's the battery overcharge. Going to try and heal that Nexus up. That will eventually run out, though. 4th Nexus for JieShi is on the way. Nightmare. Oh, he's looking to flank in on top of this army, but JieShi is ready. Nightmare going to try and pull the trigger here. He does have... he's got a decent blink on the right side, able to pick off a couple of Stalkers. I can't believe that with +2 versus 0-0, JieShi has not been able to end this game. That's really a testament to how much Nightmare is putting fear into him. And look at that. +3 weapons starting up at the same time as +1. Oof, that is a painful situation to be in. Nightmare going to counterattack with a lot of Zealots here. Cross the map and see what he can get done. There's no wall. Not a proper one, at least. This could cause some really big issues. This is probably the best chance Nightmare has to make something of this game. And he's going to split Zealots into the 3rd and into the natural. We do have static defenses in that 3rd base. And JieShi will kind of get jumped on. But in the main base of Nightmare, can he deal with what his opponent's thrown at him? Looks like he will recall into that main base. But on the other side, Nightmare, well, JieShi recalls and is able to save his own natural. That Immortal barely surviving. Once again, Nightmare is doing everything he can to fight through this game. And if he had +2 on the way right now, and that +3 from JieShi was a little bit later, I'd say there's still a good chance. But as it stands, this is such a scary situation. And we do see that there are disruptors now on the way. Not just 1, but 2 at a time. Oh my god, if he sniped that Forge. No. No. Oh god, not like this. Recall's been used. That Forge is DED dead. Oh, that is so painful. God, Nightmare. Looking like he just swallowed a whole jar of pickle juice right there. Not the happiest look on his face. And JieShi will have now a 3 upgrade advantage in about, what, 30 seconds? Nightmare, he's been even on army supply this whole time, but his opponent just out-techs and out-upgrades him. Ooh, and now even the Disruptor's starting to clip away at units. It feels like I've been casting Nightmare dead for the last 7 minutes, but he's made a real fight of it. However, JieShi has not relinquished the lead. Oh, what was... Was that a shift-clicked Disruptor shot? Wow, I think it was. Optimistic, to say the least. We're going to see Nightmare trying to swing in on the flank. Will take down the War Prism, but there are Disruptors here. One Disruptor gets an okay shot. Second one clips an Archon. And Nightmare is doing everything he possibly can. He does have a couple of Immortals in the back. And Disruptors will get blinked on. Oh, there's a fresh one here. Nightmare, oh, he's going to eat a bit of a Disruptor shot, but even still, it's just the regular army that is doing the job. And JieShi, he is going to put Dragon KaiZi Gaming up 1-0. There is nothing to be done at this point. 3 Immortals taking a hit. War Prism goes down, and JieShi will take this one. Very well done in game number 1. Bit of a fist bump. He's got to be feeling good. And here we go. Game number 2. Spawning up at the top right for Dragon KaiZi Gaming. It is JieShi in the blue. And their opponent spawning down in the bottom left for ABYDOS. It is Nightmare in the red. Now, what are we going to see here? Obviously, this is not a one gate expand map. Not here, not on Royal Blood. This is a 2-gate map through and through. You can go one gate if you're max packs, but if you're not, I don't advise it. And honestly, even max packs has stopped doing one gate on maps like this, just because it gets exposed. It really does get exposed. He doesn't like doing it unless it works. He's not the kind of player that will try and sneak a win through. He wants to win in the most consistent way possible, and that's why his rise has been so impressive and so meteoric. But we're not talking about max packs right now. To the end that I'm talking about, Nightmare, he's going to go for a one-gate Nexus. He doesn't care. He's like, yeah, it's fine. I'm doing it. And JieShi, he hides a probe on the map. What are we going to see behind this? This is very intriguing. Very intriguing from JieShi. I feel like there's a good chance we'll see a proxy Stargate off this, but I'm not too sure. Of course, big thank you to the World Team League and all their sponsors that you can see right there for this 5th season, this World Team League summer. Now, what do we have going on? JieShi dropping 2 Adepts. I believe he did indeed build a pylon out on the map. Or he's building it now. I'm not sure if he built the 3rd pylon, or sorry, 2nd pylon at home. Okay, there we go. Robotics facility coming on in. So this is... Oh, hang on. This is at home. Oh, so it's a fake 2nd pylon on the map into a robotics facility off one base. But Nightmare, because he spots this so early, he's able to build his own robotics facility, which is so good for the defense. This almost certainly has to be a big commitment from JieShi. Now, what it could be, in theory, is a quick expand behind this and then just a fast War Prism and then just harass with 4 Adepts and see what you can get done. And I wouldn't hate that. And that's exactly, it looks like, what we're going to see. So JieShi will continue to build probes behind this. Oh! Oh, Nightmare almost didn't build that shield battery. Ooh, that would have been egg all over his face if he had let those Adepts in. As it stands, though, this is looking just fine. And there it is. There's that War Prism coming on in. We do see an Immortal being chrono boosted out here from Nightmare, because as far as he knows, this is 3-gate Robo. As far as he knows, this is a 1-base, heavily committed attack. And you gotta respect it as such. Still, these 4 Adepts are going to need to find some damage. Undoubtedly. Nightmare will be able to hunt them a little bit. And if he can kill 1 or even 2 of them off somehow, in the meanwhile, that would be amazing. And would really make things a lot easier for him. Now, I wonder if JieShi is doing this because he knows that Nightmare's response to having the to the robotics facility is a quick robotics facility of his own. Immortals do not do bonus damage versus Adepts, which means that those Adepts are going to have a lot of pot shots against the probes. At this point, you definitely want to target fire the Adepts specifically, not the War Prism, because you need to kill those Adepts as quickly as possible. We're already seeing 2 of them going down, and only 2 probes have fallen. Now you go after the War Prism for sure. But this is still enough to actually put JieShi ahead. He's up a couple workers. And he's got his own robotics facility. Yeah, this is... I think more than anything, Nightmare just didn't build probes enough. And he's kind of gotten caught a couple of times not building a probe or 2. Ooh, now Nightmare getting caught out of position, but will pull the probes in time to save, to save them. So nice job there. Was able to get them in range of the shield battery, which is good stuff. JieShi, though, yeah, it seems like he has a good read of how his opponent plays, at least a little bit. Oh, and now the Adepts, I think they do shade into the main base. Yes, there they go. We'll find a couple of probes. Looks like he's... Oh, can he get a 4th probe? Nightmare does pull that 1 probe away, and yes, the Immortal delivers the killing blow. 3 probes, not so bad. But yeah, JieShi comes out of this a couple of workers ahead. Nightmare, oh, please don't fall behind in the upgrades again. Nightmare was in a very competitive place in the last game, and it felt like he was positioning his army and microing his units better than his opponent, but the upgrades of JieShi were just far too overwhelming. Now, this is the weirdest little push. 2 Immortals, 3 Sentries, and now a couple of Stalkers warping on in. The micro potential of that War Prism is going to be so beneficial with both players having lots of sentries here. And yeah, we're going to see it coming into play very quickly. Oh, there is a gap on the right, or on the right side. Nice force field from Nightmare. Does net him a sentry, but still, this is JieShi just putting on some pressure, and I still think JieShi got a positive trade there. Yeah, a Stalker and an Adept for 1 sentry. I mean, that's kind of negligible. Still slightly better, I think, for JieShi, but not that bad. Not that bad. We're going to see the... Oh, War Prism of JieShi. Where was it going? I don't know what that was doing there. Observer of JieShi, I believe, spotted the War Prism of Nightmare. Oh, Nightmare, please build a forge. I do not want to see you getting just bullied by better upgrades for an entire game. Oh, Nightmare will find... Actually, wow, he's going to find a Stalker and an Artosis Pylon. Oh, kill it! Kill the Pylon! Jesus. Okay, thank you. He does get it. Switches off 4 gateways. Stops Blink with less than 10 seconds to go. He's going to find himself 2 more Stalkers for his troubles. What a bit of harassment that almost wasn't. He almost let that Pylon live for no other reason than he just stopped targeting it. But man, that was successful for Nightmare. He killed 3 Stalkers, delays a little production. Oh, wow. Recalls out the Observer, gets it out of there. Nice job. Yeah, that was super worth it for just... Really, the Stalkers are the bigger plum, actually, of more so than delaying the upgrade. But by delaying the Blink, he did, in fact, allow himself to retreat more safely. +1 weapons is done for JieShi. And we do not have a Forge even still for Nightmare. And there's that +2 weapons for JieShi. Oh, no, I'm getting bad vibes right here. War Prism is in its phase mode, but the force fields miss a little bit. Even with that, he still gets like 4 or 5 Stalkers for that very over-eager Blink from Nightmare. Nightmare, ooh, nice force fields right there. Will be able to trap 2 of the Immortals of his opponent, but his own Immortals are not really in the fight either. Still, he now has 3 Immortals to 1. There is a big opportunity for Nightmare here. Even though he's down an upgrade and attacking into a shield battery, those 3 Immortals represent a lot of DPS. Oh. Okay. Nope, not going to go down. Still, that Stalker got one-shotted hard. Ah, man. Nightmare. Okay, finally adding on a Forge, but there will be a timing. Unless he snipes his opponent's Forge, there will be a timing, and a pretty big one at that, where it is 2-0 versus 0-0 again. Again. Nightmare, you have to get a quicker Forge, my dude. Or you have to scout more, or you have to kill your opponent. Those are the options. You cannot let your opponent get away with this kind of an upgrade lead twice in a row. It seems like JieShi has really done his research against his opponent. Because in terms of styles, feels like he just has a great grasp on what Nightmare is doing. Oh, Observer on the left side. It will see the timing of the 4th base, and it sees the army kind of flicking through vision, so it's good information where he's got that Observer. I really like that. Oh, Observer for Nightmare does spot the army of his opponent. Now, we do see a little bit of a... Nope, not a little bit of an attack on the right side. Looks like he's just going to disengage. Oh, man, the +1 weapons for Nightmare is only halfway done, and JieShi just finished up his +2. Oh, that's a nice little jump on top of this War Prism harass. War Prism goes down as well as the... Well, the Zealots might grab a couple of probes. Nope, looks like they just killed the cannon, and that's pretty much it. So that's a nice little find for Nightmare, and he takes... probably for the first time in this series, a meaningful army supply advantage that he can actually no, he really can't do anything with this. The upgrade advantage is too much. You know it's bad when you're looking for a timing where your upgrade disadvantage is only 1. And even with that, JieShi's got disruptors on the way. Now, I don't want to be too critical of Nightmare. He plays a really aggressive style, and he's very control-oriented. But this is... Oh, man, it makes me a little bit sad watching someone fall so far behind in upgrades. Now, he might catch up on the +2 timing. He did go straight into the +2. There might only be like a 10 or 15 second upgrade advantage for JieShi with the +3, especially if Nightmare Chrono boosts like all through the upgrade. But disruptors are going to be a big problem for Nightmare, as they were in the previous game. JieShi just trying to take advantage of his higher blink stalker count, trying to bully his opponent a little bit. JieShi also got a quicker 4th Nexus this game, but Nightmare's 4th Nexus is well on the way. Oh, little Zealot run by does get spotted, so good job from Nightmare to be able to pick away at that. And if he blinks forward, he can probably take down all of this. Oh, JieShi does have some stalkers in position. Nice job. Jumps on top of the War Prism of his opponent, and it only gets one Zealot out before it gets taken down. Excellent defense from JieShi. Nightmare, a little bit of sleep at the wheel. And as it stands, they've been really kind of at an impasse for the, I would say, really the whole game. We are going to see JieShi trying to, or rather Nightmare trying to flank it on top of this army. Oh, he will get one of the disruptors. The other one has fired his shot. This could be the engagement that Nightmare was looking for. Look at this surround right here. Zealot's going to get in on top of the units that can't blink away. Stalker's trying to retreat to the high ground. Meanwhile, Zealots do get in on top of the 4th base of Nightmare, but he just got an amazing engagement, and he's going to try and leverage that for a little bit more on his opponent's 3rd base. We got to take a look at that. Are there any disruptors there? Looks like there's one about to pop, and the Stalkers are going to get back in position. Blink forward will take down Shield Battery Overcharge. The disruptor shot from JieShi not going to be in time to hit before Blink is available again, and Nightmare just dances out of there. Meanwhile, he holds on the other side of the map. Excellent turnaround from Nightmare. This was really looking like we were doomed for a 2-0, and a sad one at that, but excellent fights with the surround in the middle of the map. And now a solid counterattack and defense on his own 4th base. He hasn't won the game yet, not by any stretch. He's down, but he is up 30 army supply. It's only a 1 upgrade disadvantage. Still, disruptors can do a lot in this matchup. Ooh, nice snipe on the Archon there from JieShi, and a rather large disruptor shot. I think that killed a Stalker, a Sentry, and clipped an Archon. Could have been a lot worse. You can see Nightmare's engagements are really strong, but he just needs to even the score a little bit up in this situation. Now, speaking of which, he does have disruptors of his own on the way. JieShi finds the army with his own disruptor shot, but not able to get a connection. Nightmare did snipe his opponent's observer, so that's good for Nightmare. Nightmare should certainly be thinking about going into +3 weapons to try and equalize things out, but he probably wants to keep consistent disruptor production up. Although he actually can afford +3 and still be able to get those disruptors. There it is. There's that +3. We're going to see the upgrade advantage showing itself. Hey, that's my brother. You leave him alone. As like 15 Zealots come flying in at the guy when you get in a fight in the bar and his friends jump in. Aw, geez, Rick. More Zealots here for Nightmare means that even with the upgrade disadvantage, he will win that fight. That early pylon from the early stages finally getting sniped here. We're going to see the disruptors of Nightmare trying to lead the charge a little bit. Does he have... Oh, big blink forward from JieShi. He does eat some big disruptor shots, but he gets 4 disruptors for it, and that is certainly better for JieShi. And he even gets a nice, solid shot on those Stalkers on the tail end. Nightmare leaving those Stalkers exposed. Oof. That was kind of brutal there. A little bit. If he could have gotten 2 big disruptor shots, it wouldn't have been so bad. We do see JieShi climbing ahead momentarily in supply. It is very similar, but the disruptor count is the big issue right here for Nightmare. JieShi's got a lot of those big dodgeball hurlers. Oh, and meanwhile, the Zealots are going to win out for JieShi on the left side. Disruptors, though, getting left in the front for JieShi right here. He loses 3 of them, fires out 2 more shots that whiff. And that will be a very good find for Nightmare. He kills 5 disruptors, jumping his opponent in the dark right there. And meanwhile, his Zealots and a couple of Archons will show up and save this 5th base. Man, this has been a very back and forth game number 2. And this is a super important match. Oh, Disruptor gets a big, well, that was only 2 Stalkers, I think. It was a lot of debris, but it looks like it was just 2 Stalkers. Still, you got to be so careful. Oh, wow, he really blinked into that and then lost the War Prism. That was so reckless from Nightmare. He is very fortunate that hit Immortals and not units that get one-shotted by Disruptors. Ooh, Disruptor of Nightmare trying to creep forward. JieShi. Oh, he's going to get jumped a little bit here. Does lose one of his Disruptors. Nightmare with a good split, and he takes down his opponent's Observer, which means he will have the vision advantage in this very tight hallway. This is Disruptor heaven in that hallway. That is so many Zealots, by the way. Nightmare finally getting the upgrades close to even. He is still down an armor upgrade, but he will win that fight on the top side. Or, well, on the left side, I should say. And he finds another Disruptor of his opponent. It feels like Nightmare's micro has been better, but JieShi has been better at kind of punishing the little movement mistakes. Actually, no, it's hard to even say that because there's been a lot on both sides. Both players are clearly very stressed in this game, as they should be. Oh, and it looks like a Disruptor shot did land on an Immortal and another Disruptor. JieShi has just been pressuring this base relentlessly. Nightmare, though. Well, actually, now they both have a Dark Shrine. We got DT Blink coming in for Nightmare. These Archons kind of useless when Disruptors hit the field, except against those big Zealot run-bys. Ooh, speaking of which, we're going to see the flank again. Nightmare going to pull the trigger here, jumping in on top of his opponent's army. Will be able to take down all the Disruptors. What an engage from Nightmare. JieShi is going to be able to retreat on out, and we'll get a good Disruptor shot on the tail end. A huge Disruptor shot to follow through. Oh, he gets so many Disruptor shots. JieShi getting some really successful balls, but does he have enough to hold? He has lost all of his Disruptors, including the ones that just popped out. Meanwhile, big counterattack on the other side of the map. Going to find a lot of these units. A lot of probes, I should say. DT's trying to warp in defensively. Nightmare, does he have enough to get... Oh, last second blink away. Saves those Stalkers. This game is wild. It is bonkers. Both sides losing 16 probes during this little kerfuffle. More than a kerfuffle. This has been a wild little, I don't know, 45 seconds. Ooh, DTs. Oh, no, that was the worst blink of all time. Was it? Actually, no, he's still got enough to kill the cannons. Oh, my God, there was no Observer with the recall. Nightmare. Oh, if he hadn't attacked with those DTs. Hang on. He is going to come in with a double-pronged harass on the 5th base of his opponent. And JieShi just used his recall, pulled his whole army to the other side. If Nightmare targets down this Nexus, he might be able to get it and retreat. But his Observer sees the army of his opponent closing in, and he knows he's got to get out of there. However, he might be able to pull a sneaky maneuver. Nope, he's just going to recall. Wise decision to just get out of there. These Stalkers are most likely dead. Ooh, DT is going to come on in. Blink, blink. Nice blinks. Does grab one Disruptor. Second one gets pinned in the corner. Will get taken out. Plus 3 DTs taking down those that cannon through the battery overcharge. We do see the Observer popping out just in the nick of time. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, does JieShi not paying attention to the Disruptors? Hitting the army! Center mass! It's gone! So many units going down in the blink of an eye. Oh, just like that, the game flips again, and Nightmare has fully taken control at this point. A 40 army supply lead. JieShi caught with his head on the dashboard, asleep at the wheel. And it's gotta be all over at this point. What a turnaround that was. Nightmare fighting so tenaciously in this game. GG, what a turnaround from Nightmare. My God, what a game. And we're back for game 3 of this series. Spawning up at the top left for Dragon KaiZi Gaming, it is herO in the blue. And his opponent spawning down on the bottom right for Team ABYDOS. It is the Resurgent Cure. Oh man, this is such an exciting match for so many reasons. Look at Cure's webcam positioning. You gotta love it. That is really funny. So this is a cool match for a lot of reasons, and that last map was really important because this match between these two teams is extremely important for the standings for both of them. This could come down to which one of these teams finishes ahead of the other in the regular season. I don't think there's any risk that either of these teams misses the playoffs unless one of them has a huge implosion and massively underperforms for a really significant part of the season. I really just don't see these two teams missing the playoffs. But I could see one of them running into some trouble. You know, I could see one of the two teams, whoever wins this one, finishing just ahead of the other in the standings by, you know, no more than 1 point in those standings. But we will have to see. Obviously, we already just saw the 1-1 between JieShi and Nightmare with an explosive finish in game number 2. Quite literally, those disruptor balls blowing up a massive portion of the army. Meanwhile, herO and Cure, they have played some amazing games. And we're back into it. Looks like there was a little bit of a problem with the clean feed, but don't worry, we haven't missed anything. We do see there is a... well, as you can see, a Reaper coming across the map. And it's going to see what it can get done here. Oh, well, what it can do is nothing. It's going to get sniped immediately. And that is, well, that is rather painful to say the very least. Not what you want to see. herO, for his part, will get across the map with 2 adepts. He's going for a robotics facility and a Stargate. What is this? This is new. This is very new. War Prism coming on in and a Stargate. I have never seen this. This feels like Wings of Liberty. We're trying to solve the 1-1-1 dilemma type of stuff right here, where they're like, well, if I get an observer, that allows me to see the cloaked banshees, and then I can get the Stargate that'll let me build phoenixes, and then I can pump out immortals, and it just, you know, like they're spinning in the mud because that build was very strong. This though, in current meta, we never see stuff like this. So this is a very unique way, it feels like, of getting to Phoenix Colossus, where, yeah, you've got this War Prism to start up. I feel like this has to be Phoenix Colossus. There's no way it can be anything else, right? What the Korean players have enjoyed doing recently is going very light on the Phoenix play while getting up into Colossi. This is a cool little play from herO, by the way. 3 adepts is enough to one-shot SCVs. Now, he gets 3 SCVs, but he does lose one of the adepts right there, so still worth it, but not cheap, not free. Certainly still worth it as long as you don't, you know, suffer any catastrophic damage. Now we've got the Templar Arc, or the Twilight Council. What is this? What am I looking at, herO? herO coming in with some very out there strats. Meanwhile, we've got the standard 3-1-1 setup coming in from Cure, but he has delayed the starport with this, so it's not exactly standard. This is going to be a rather quick double medevac play with Stim combat shields and +1. Stim is actually pretty much already done. It's going to be done well before the first 2 medevacs hit the field. I wonder if this is just going to be... I wonder if Cure can maybe just run him over, actually. Because herO's teching in so many directions at once, he's just not going to have many units out on the field for a little while. Now, he didn't end up going for Colossus. Just getting quick War Prism and Observers. Oh, nice scan right there from Cure. Spots the Observer instantly. It did manage to get into its siege mode, so it was able to get a better scout of the main base, but that's still an extremely good pickoff for Cure. And yeah, Cure's going to be hitting across the map very shortly. This feels very scary. Now, nice pickoff on the Cyclone. Seeing those Phoenixes at this point, that's got to be so confusing right now as Cure. And I feel like at this point, you maybe just want to go. Like, you've seen a Warp Prism. I mean, charge is done. But, oh, wow. herO's actually going to be able to escape on out here. We're seeing quick storm behind this from herO. Cure, for his part, he's actually up in workers. herO is kind of put himself like all-in-ish on tech, which is a funny, strange thing to say because he's on 3 bases. But his worker count is, yeah, it's like quite a bit lower. He's really trying to catch his opponent off guard with this storm. That is the plan from herO here. Cure, though, I mean, he's got the upgrade advantage. These Phoenixes are really doing a great job of keeping Cure back, and Cure's got no idea what's happening. And how could you? How could you expect that Storm would be done at, like, what, 725 in a game like this? That is ludicrous. That's a ludicrous concept. But it could be a huge power spike and a huge deal in this one. We're going to see the scan coming on in from Cure, and he's like, wait, what? How do you have Storm and so many Zealots? Oh, the flank storm coming on in. The storm drop is devastating on Cure's army right there. Cure trying to micro back, but he just doesn't have enough to engage. And now the Phoenixes are going to be a problem on the chase. Cure rallying forward with more units. He will try and salvage this army, but there's so many Zealots. Ooh, Widow Mines. I believe one of them got lifted, but the other one did not, and it gets a big shot. Second one, did it get dropped? I think the second Widow Mine might have gotten dropped here. herO got to be a little bit careful. Cure needs to guard those Widow Mines, though. Those Widow Mines are so necessary to his defense. Ooh, okay, there's the lift on one mine. Second lift does go off before the mine can fire. herO is currently up 20 army supply, and he has this storm. Cure, nice positioning on the Marauders at the front, but this feels so deadly. This feels like such a deadly moment, and that Observer providing so much vision. Cure going to try and use his SimCity to somehow hold, but I really am scared for Cure at this moment. Storm will get dodged. Cure, oh, eats a pretty big one, and a Zealot warping right into the fight is going to be very scary to deal with. Cure is desperately trying to hold. Oh, the SCV is getting stormed into oblivion. 20 of them going down in just a moment, and that will be all she wrote. Cure will lose the game. herO takes it. And here we go. Game number 4, spawning up at the top right for Dragon KaiZi Gaming. It is herO in the blue, and his opponent spawning down on the bottom left. For Team ABYDOS, it is Cure, trying to even things up and hand the reins off to his teammate. We are going to see a proxy Rax. Okay. And this is right up in his opponent's business. Wow, this is saying you're not going to scout this ramp. You're not going to scout in this area, because if you do, you see this barracks. So you're just not going to do it. And if you do, that's some bad news for me. Now, herO and Cure have played a lot of games against one another, so it makes sense that Cure is doing this. He has to have noticed a pattern from herO. Cure, very dangerous player. But this is just going to be Proxy Rax Reaper. Now, this is funny because how does this work? I believe that the Reaper needs to spawn before it can jump to the high ground, so I actually think the barracks is slightly in the way. I think it needs to spawn to the bottom before it can jump up to the high ground. Oh. Barrack or bunker going to come up at the natural. We did see a probe was very well positioned right here. Zealot going to start up. So this bunker is a little bit funky because it's actually going to cause herO to build a Zealot. But Cure will be able to get that bunker up, I think. Yeah, no, he definitely is going to get it. Okay, so it does need to spawn to the bottom. So that's actually a little... I guess there's only room for that. Yeah, it's kind of fine. Cure, nice grenade. Can he get any probes to start this off? Zealot will be a bit of a nuisance. And it actually buys enough time for that one probe to get away. Ooh, Cure really wants that probe. Will be able to get it. Stalker not being chrono boosted out. And Cure could have grabbed maybe... He honestly probably could have grabbed like 3 or 4 probes. Oh, almost getting surrounded there. Will still get 2 probes and gets into the bunker. Yes, he does. herO not going to be able to block that. There is a shield battery on the high ground, so of course it is safe. Although it's not done just yet, it will finish momentarily. This is going to be a lot of denied mining time, at the very least. Oh, look at that. herO rallying the probe to the shield battery. And we're just going to see 2 Reapers, and that's it. herO will try and clean this up. Hang on. He might not be able to battery overcharge, actually. Oh, nice grenade right there. Knocks the Zealot askew, but Cure looks like he wants to salvage the bunker anyways. So even if that shield battery wasn't in range of the Nexus to cast battery overcharge, which I'm not sure if it was or not. Oh, an attempted gateway block there, not able to get up. Would have been really nice if he could have gotten that. Nice quick probe pull. Saves the second probe that was under fire. But Cure, what was that? That was like, I think that was 3 or 4 probes in total. Not bad. A lot of lost mining time in the natural. Cure, though, for his part, he did open up double gas, and his command center is delayed. So it's still in construction, but he's got a Widowmine drop to follow this up. herO, what does he have going for him? I believe he's just gone for the robotics facility, and now a forge. This is very interesting. If I'm honest, I am very confused. I don't know what the play is here. Oh, this is a triple mine drop. Okay. Double forge. herO is a mad scientist, and you cannot convince me otherwise. If he can get away with this, the upgrade advantage he'll get is going to be bonkers. But how do you get away with this realistically? Oh, well, he doesn't stop the mine drop from unburrowing. Oh, wow, he manages to get one of the mines, though. Oop, third mine still ready to fire, but there is an observer here. Oh, well, that wasn't supposed to happen. I got 3 more kills. There's an observer there. That's herO. That's pretty sloppy. You shouldn't be letting that happen. Just underestimated the range, I think, a little bit. And he ends up getting a little bop on the nose. That didn't kill the observer, did it? No, it didn't. It's still right there. It's on top of the medevac. But it did splash a couple of stalkers. Not that that matters. Cure just kind of checking in on things. Did he see the double forge? I actually don't think so. Wow. Double forge straight into Colossus. herO is just hoping and praying that his opponent is not doing anything that comes at him, because if Cure were to do some kind of like 2 racks tank push, 2 racks fast stim, Oliveira-esque tank push with like 1 or 2 medevacs, a couple of SCVs pulled, how would you even consider holding it? How would you even form the thought of holding it? I don't think you could. I think that'd be pretty nearly impossible. herO looking like he wants to take a hidden Nexus. And look at that. He's got a cheeky smile on his face. He's like, I'm doing all the Protoss things. I'm going to go double forge right away into Colossus and Twilight Council. And then I'm going to take a hidden Nexus. La-dee-da. What are you going to do about it? Hee-hee-hee-hee-hee. Riddle me this. Is he just going to use the Twilight Council initially for double upgrades? Okay, there we go. He does start up charge before that. Looks like Observer was taken down by an auto turret, I believe. Cure, the one thing I will say is that he might be a little bit too predictable. And I've said this a lot. Usually I'm thinking of TVZ when I think of this. But TVP, I mean, he kind of plays the way he does like clockwork. So he loves hitting these 3-1-1 timings. Stim combat shields +1 weapons. He's extraordinarily effective with them, but it is rather well known. And to that point, herO's got 1-1 done already by the time this +1 attack push is going to come. Cure, once again, he is actually up in workers, so he doesn't actually need to attack. What he would love to do is find out about this hidden base, but herO has busted out the filthy strats. Now, Cure is still surging ahead in supply. Like, really pulling ahead in supply. But 2-2. If we end up seeing 2-2 versus 1-0, with enough chrono boost, we could see. Oh, herO, please pull the probes. Okay, there we go. Two probes gonna fall there, but herO avoids the critical damage. Still, look at the supplies. The supplies are very far in favor of Cure right now. But if herO gets to 2-2 and he's able to take advantage of that hidden nexus, this could really become a problem for Cure. And by could, I mean will become an absolutely massive problem. The thing is, no one does hidden nexus anymore. Ironically, SOS is on ABYDOS, but we just don't see hidden nexus as a thing anymore. So hero's going to be able to probably get away with this. The only thing is, I don't even know, because I'm not even sure if he actually recalled that hidden nexus. If he didn't... Oh, Disruptor! Oh, no! No! herO! Oh! God, he hits himself in the head with the rake on that one. Steps right onto it. Accidentally grabbed the Disruptor shot while he was trying to pull the probes away from the Widow Mine. Didn't do too much. That was only 2 probes, but at least he's got a good humor about it. A lot of players would have, that would have caused them to unravel. He just kind of laughs it off. He's like, oh, okay. That was dumb. Why did I do that? Now look at this. 1-1 completes for Cure. 2-2 is already done for herO. Look at this Zealot. Causing 3, almost 5 friendly fire kills on SCVs. Cure, for his part, getting into Ghosts. herO not yet starting up his 3-3. But Cure's Armory is just now completing. There will be potential. If we see 3-3 right now, there is potential for 3-3 versus 1-1. There it is. There's that 3-3 on the way. 2+2 attack going to start up for herO, or for Cure, and there's the +2 armor. The thing is, if herO chrono boosts like 4 times on his upgrades, he will finish 3-3 first. You subtract 10 seconds for every chrono boost that you use. Oh, Cure. At this point, he's got to be wondering, what the hell? Why are you still on 3 bases? You're just letting me run away with the macro in this game. And the thing is, even with that hidden nexus, like, Cure's macro is... He's got 40 more army supply right now. However, Immortals benefit a lot from upgrade advantages. Ooh, we are going to see an attack coming on in here. Interference matrices do connect on the 2 Colossus. Cure, he's not going to be able to get too much done with it, though. There's just a lot of Protoss bulk. Cure, though, best split pusher in the business. And we've got him going for a bit of a split push. Ooh, did Cure find this base? Yes, he most certainly did. And he will stim in on top of it. He will find these Zealots. And he is going to almost certainly take it down. Unless you recall in to save it, at which point you are giving up your natural, your main, and your 3rd base. High Templar trying to get something done. Does drop a feedback, but he's going to lose that Nexus. And realistically, Cure can kill all the probes. Yeah, there we go. All the probes are going to go down. herO. Oh, we might end up seeing a base trade right here. And they have played some pretty exciting base trades against one another in recent past. Oh, a couple of medevacs very lost here. Cure, he is going to surge into the 3rd base. He will find the EMP on top of the Nexus, which means no recall to that 3rd. Probes trying to escape to the top side, but they run into the 2nd army, which means all of them are going to go down. I think the probes might all be trapped. +2 weapons, though, will be denied. We could end up seeing 3-3 versus 0-0, or versus 1-1. However, the 2 forges are going to get jumped on as well. And we see the robotics facility getting denied. 3-3 will get denied here for herO. +2 armor does complete for Cure. That will bring the upgrades to a lot closer to parity, but we can see that herO is in on top of his opponent's production. Huge EMP on top of the army. Oh, does one of the Colossus go down? I don't think so. Taking a look at the main Nexus, it is going to fall most likely before the recall can go off. And it looks like, well, herO wouldn't want to recall into this anyways. Ooh, probes on the left side are trying to sneak away. Are there any SCVs out on the map for Cure? That is the big question from me. We've got 10 probes to 22 SCVs, I think, right now. There we go. The probes do get found in the main base. How many of them can get away? The answer is going to be none. And Cure, with that, will take the game. herO knows it's over, and he is forced to tap out. We're looking at an even scoreline. All right, here we go. Game number 4 in this even series. Spawning down to the bottom left for Dragon KaiZi Gaming, it is Dark. And spawning up at the top right for ABYDOS, it is Creator. Looks like they might have been a little bit late getting into the game here. We are already a minute and 15 seconds in as they started this one up, but it looks like we haven't missed anything. Although, if Creator tried to go for a hatch block, Dark went for a earlier hatch than normal. I'm going to see when that hatchery finishes, and I'll try and figure out if it was a 15 hatch, a 16 hatch, or even a 14 hatch. If that hatchery finishes in the next couple seconds, let's see, 150. Okay, no, it was just a 16 hatch. Okay, cool. So Creator did not go for a hatch block on this map. Finished up at the 2-minute mark, which means he started it at 16 supply. And that is the timing that a quick probe will block. So Creator just saying, okay, I'm going to allow you to get away with this. Now, these two players, obviously, they have a history. And the one that I'm referring to is Game 5 at IEM Katowice 2023 in a series where, to be honest, it felt like Dark could have Creator could have pretty, not easily, but it feels like with a couple of things going very slightly differently, we could have seen all 5 games going to Creator. At minimum, he could have won 4 of them, but specifically game number 5, Creator had an army that Dark just could not really fight. And Creator got caught on the map, didn't recall in time, lost to a base trade, and Cracklings killing his main Nexus before the recall went off, and he just looked absolutely shattered after that happened. It was such a devastating, gut-wrenching moment. Creator's always been an extremely passionate player and really invests his all into his games. And it was against Dark. Dark has done that specifically won unwinnable games with base trades. He has done it before. I believe that was on, what was the lava map from the last pool? It was gigantic. It was a really silly map. Just absolutely massive, like 10 bases per side or 9 bases per side or something. That one was pretty painful for Creators. So to have it happen again, but in Game 5, was even worse. Glittering Ashes. Yeah, Sparkling Peaches. That was the one. For this game, we're going to be seeing Resonating Glaives. And I believe this is 6 gate Glaives. Yeah. He's got 2 gates at the front. We're going to see Dark trying to defend us with Ling Bane. That is going to be extremely challenging against 6 gate Glaives. It's already 4 gates showing up here. Dark will need a second gas to be able to support the Baneling production he needs to be able to deal with this. However, if he can get a good jump, the Ling Bane versus Resonating Glaives fight is very snowbally. So if one side gets a small advantage, that can make a huge difference. So all it would take is one really good Baneling connection or the Resonating Glaives Adepts being split very well. And things can swing really hard in one direction or the other. Now, Dark is adding on 2 more gases at the third base, and he did drone up a little bit more, so he was able to support those gases. Creator really trying to keep the pressure on. This is so heavily committed off 6 gates. He does not have any additional tech yet. He really needs to get something done with this. What you can do, though, is shade forward and split the Adepts on the shade. Ooh, he is going to start to force his opponent back a little bit. Will be able to pick off a couple of drones. Does he go for the shade? Yes, he will. And we actually see a couple of Adepts trying to barricade the natural ramp. Not able to do so completely. Banelings are going to get some okay connections, but a lot of the Adepts really going to work. And Creator cancels the Shade out and just cleans up so many of his opponent's Lings. Meanwhile, splitting up into the main base with a Shade as well. He is finding so much value. 17 drones going down already. Creator looking to strike back for his IEM Katowice misfortune. And will be able to get a lot of units over to the third base as well, knocking Dark down to just 24 drones right now. This is Creator's game to lose at this point. He is so far ahead, doing so much damage to Dark. He just needs to not run into a ton of Banelings with an Adept Shade. And in fact, he's going to Shade into the natural. And just like that, look at that, takes game number 5 and a big, big smile. All right, here we go. Game number 6, spawning down in the bottom left for Dragon KaiZi Gaming. It is Dark in the red. And his opponent spawning up at the top right for ABYDOS, looking to close it out for his team. It is Creator. Gotta be feeling good about that previous game. Definitely a big moral victory to have that go so well. And now he does go for the hatch block. Now, Dark is very used to this. He's not going to be thrown off by this, but it is always a nuisance. Dark, for his side, does get the 16 hatch down, which means he won't have his queen production delayed, which is valuable. There's definitely value in that. Now, Creator. He almost seemed surprised that he won so quickly in game number 1. Well, I guess game number 5. Game number 1 of the mini best of 2. And just a refresher for anyone who's unfamiliar with the World Team League format, you have the teams, they double blind pick 3 players. The players then play a best of 2 against one another. Loser of the first map of that best of 2 picks the second map that they will play. Great little bit of harass coming in from Creator, by the way. And at the end of 3 of these best of 2s, you will have either a 3-3 scoreline, or one team having won 4-2, 5-1, or 6-0. If the team wins before it goes to the ace match, that team collects 3 points in the standings. The other team collects 0. Goes home empty-handed. If it goes to the ace match, both teams get 1 point in the standings, and they both double blind send an ace on a predetermined map, and then whoever wins that ace match gets a 2nd point. And you might be saying, oh, why do they play the games if it's 4-0 after the first 2 best of 2s? Well, standings matter. Because Storm Gaming in the past has missed the playoffs by just a measly, I believe, 4 points in the standings in the past, and that is not something you want at all. So if Creator wins here, he collects 3 points for his team, and that would be huge. If he loses here, it goes to an ace match where they would have to go up against either herO, Oliveira, or Dark. And that is not something you want to have to do in the ace match. Now, to be fair, ABYDOS certainly has some viable ace players of their own. Creator, Cure, even in theory SOS, but I don't think you'd send SOS unless you were certain he was going up against herO. And even then, I would say probably not. By the way, great scout from Dark. He gets to see the Twilight Council again, and he is going to know what his opponent is going for. I wonder if he goes for Ling Bane again on the defense. Personally, I kind of hope not. He's been doing that a lot recently, and against specifically 6-gate Glaives, it is so difficult to make that defense happen. And there it is. He does go for the Roach Warren here. Dark very comfortable going with the double gas 3 Roach into quick Ravager defense. So you get 3 Roaches. With the second gas, you're able to afford to immediately morph them into Ravagers as soon as they pop out. And what you can do with that, you have a lot of options against the first couple rounds of Adepts. So first of all, you kite the Adepts, especially on creep. You're just faster than they are. Second of all, you are oftentimes not just oftentimes, you are able to corrosive bile down the War Prism if it leaves itself exposed. That's what the 3 Ravagers does. And then additionally, if the Lings can get to the surround on your opponent's Adepts and you're able to corrosive bile the center mass, that's 180 damage on 3 biles landing. That's really good damage. You're going to kill every Adept that you hit with all 3 biles. You might be able to hit like 3 Adepts. You could potentially just instantly kill 3 Adepts in the middle of the surround. And then, of course, the Ravagers just adding on DPS. There it is. We got 3 Ravagers in production. They are going to be hitting the field very shortly. Of course, they did get that small nerf to their production time, but yeah, Dark, there we go. He does take a little bit of damage. You got to be careful with that. But 3 Adepts, they put out a lot of DPS in a hurry against a relatively small unit count. And yeah, I like this. I like the way that Dark has chosen to defend. Creator, for his part, immediately takes a 3rd Nexus and did have a 3rd Gas of the Natural ready to go. But we need to see some more tech. We need to see something like a Robotics Bay. And he's got, yeah, a ton of gas for it. But instead, he's actually going to warp in Sentries. Not what I was expecting at all. Dark does have the layer on the way. Counterattacking with a lot of Lings. And Creator, ooh, he's going to jump forward in on top of the Ravagers. But nice Corrosive Biles will cover this. Now, the Lings are going to need to beeline it back home. I wonder if the Adepts will shade forward here. They will be able to find a couple of drones in the 3rd. Nice micro so far from Dark. Oh, 1 Adept actually going forward. We're going to see a little bit of creep getting sniped down. Weird recall. Funny recall. Creator, how many drones can he get in the natural? Just a couple, but he gets 8 drones in total still. Creator lost his 3rd base. He had to cancel it. And Dark, he lost a couple of drones, but he was able to replenish them already. He's already ahead in the worker count again. Oh, got to be careful here. Oh, those were some optimistic force fields. He didn't have the force field energy to cut that off entirely. That was, I think, Creator playing with his heart a little more than his head. Not necessarily paying attention to the actual energy on his sentries and just saying like, oh, I can get a big catch here. But unfortunately, well, that just wasn't the case. He gets a couple of units, but not a lot. Not really worth 2 force fields. Now, I think Creator's going to try and hit a timing with Blink and +1. And this rather large army. But he's still a ways away from actually having those important upgrades. Dark, I think he should get enough time for roach speed. We can see Dark poised with a Ling counterattack on the right side. Ooh, and Dark getting double Evo. Well, this won't actually be that handy against a potentially heavily committed 3-base attack. Oh, he does spot this army. Recall was used recently, so Creator's got to be very careful. The War Prism is not here with this. Nice force fields initially, but he does eat some rather large Corrosive Biles, quite big. And now the Lings are going to wrap around from the back. Uh-oh, this looks very dangerous for Creator. Dark will be able to get in on top of most of the army. Only the 2 Immortals going to survive. And Creator has lost all of his initiative now. Dark going for a bit of an optimistic set of Biles. But why not throw them down and create more stress? Regardless, Dark is now massively ahead. Creator behind this, he's going to try and get into a 2nd robotics facility and a robotics bay. Going to go for that tech switch. Dark, for his part going for 1-1 on his Lings. 1-1, +1 melee, +1 carapace. And a fast infestation pit. Baneling Nest coming on in. We do see the 4th hatchery for Dark is pretty far along. We've also got some decent creep spread for Dark. Not a ton just yet, but it is getting to the point where it could flower out very quickly. Creator really trying to keep the pressure on and keep Dark occupied. And it seems to be working pretty well. Dark actually getting supply blocked a little bit at 136 for... Well, actually, no. He never mind. He had Overlords kind of finishing up staggered. It looks like he had 4 at once, but no, he's kind of fine. Creator, is he going to go Colossus or Disruptors? Okay, will be Colossus. That makes a ton of sense to me. Creator, oh, he needs to snipe those Changelings. He needs to snipe those Changelings before they see the 2nd robotics bay. Or 2nd robotics facility and robotics bay, for that matter. Creator really trying to get some work done with this War Prism. He's being a big nuisance. Oh, Dark. Oh, reaching for those Biles, but not able to get them. Did Dark see the 2nd robotics facility in that robotics bay? That's a huge question mark for me. He has a hive on the way regardless, but if he knows that it's double Robo Colossus, he's going to go straight up into 3 or 4 Vipers right away. And that is going to be so helpful for him. He might do that anyways. Oh, I think the Ling saw that Colossus that time. We'll see in a moment when that hive finishes. He's got 1,000 gas in the bank. Even if he spends, immediately starts up 2-2, he's still got enough for 4 Vipers right now. And, oh, fires up 46 Lings, actually. Okay, Ultra Cavern, Adrenal Glands, and no Vipers just yet. The lack of Vipers makes me think that maybe he didn't actually see those Colossus and instead going for a ton of Banelings. Creator taking a 4th Nexus. Okay, now you have to know. Oh, Creator trying to bait out those Banelings to run into the Stalkers. Oh, Immortals, well, they will get picked up by this War Prism on the top side, but Creator is so far out of position. This base is completely dead, and Creator is going for a big attack on the bottom right. But, I mean, he can't get much done there. Meanwhile, +2 melee is not yet done on these Banes. Oh, he still finds 11 probes at the 4th base and will get the kill. Creator was really on the back foot after the cancellation of the 3rd Nexus. Was it the 2nd cancel? No, the attack. The attack that came in from Creator and kind of got stuffed. Oh, and now Corrosive Bile is taking down that Observer. You can see Creator really trying to give it all he's got. But I don't know. This looks pretty rough. Dark. Still no Vipers, but he's got a lot of upgrades coming online in about the next 45 seconds. Adrenal Glands is finishing up basically now. He's got Chitinous Plating and 2-2 finishing up very shortly. Dark. Oh, he wants to swarm this army. He wants to surround it. And he is going to get on top of it. Nice force fields. Going for a big surround. Big disruptor shot on the right side. Is that going to be enough right here? That looked so good for Creator. Dark just lost so much supply. He will remax on 3 more Ultras. He's got the 4th one that just popped out and a bunch more Lings. Creator needs to go now, though. But at the same time, you want to let those shields regenerate. Those Stalkers are so vulnerable with low shields. 2-2 Chitinous Plating about to complete. Creator, can he do it here despite everything? There are 4 Colossus in this army and a couple of Disruptors. Nice force fields to start things up. Will bottle the army and gets a big Disruptor shot to help with it. And another one coming on in. Corrosive Biles missing the War Prism, not able to land. But we do see 2 of the Colossus go down. The Disruptor as well. The one Immortal adding on a lot of DPS against this Ultralisk, but it will get taken down. There are mostly just Stalkers, and there's still a lot of well, actually, no. Not enough transfuse to keep that Ultralisk alive, but Dark is going to be able to drive this back with the reinforcing Ultras and that clutch 2-2 timing that he was able to get up to. Creator trying to bust through, but does he have enough? He's able to target down 2 of the 3 Ultras, and now the 3rd one will fall as well. However, Creator is being driven back by the reinforcing 2-2 Cracklings. And there is a Colossus in this War Prism, but it's not going to be enough. Dark will take the game and evens the series at 3 apiece. We're going to the ace match. All right, here we go. The first one of its kind this season. Spawning down in the bottom right for Dragon KaiZi Gaming, it is Dark. And his opponent spawning up at the top left for Team ABYDOS, it is Cure. And by the first one of its kind, I mean it is the first ace match that we are seeing between any team in the World Team League this season. We have yet to see an ace match in the entirety of the first week, and now in the first match of the second week, we have got ourselves an ace match in the very first match of the week. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I wonder if this will be a week of many ace matches. That would be pretty awesome, in my opinion. I would love that. Now, historically, I feel like Dark has had Cure's number, but I also feel like Cure has been on an insane tear recently. And last week, even though he lost to Serral, especially in game number 1, he was in an incredible position. He's lost a few close games to Dark, where it's really gone the distance in the late game. But during the mid game, Cure had himself huge opportunities to get a lot done and close the game out. And a couple of unfortunate mistakes cost him really big. And specifically in the World Team League, we saw that last week versus Serral, where he was, yeah, at one point, like 20, 30, 40 army supply up and really putting the pressure on, but he got caught in a corner and wasn't able to lift up into his medevacs. All right, we are going to see Cure moving on forward, trying to get what he can done, but Dark, I mean, it's going to be pretty good. It is forced to morph a Spore Crawler. So that's only 6 minerals. It's not like he had to morph an Spore Crawler, which is a little bit more expensive. What is 75 minerals? It's 18 minerals. So 4 mineral trips versus 2. And of course, that's deleted off the map permanently. Cure, for his part, he is going to be going directly to 3 command centers. Oh, nice little grenade. Going to prevent the second creep tumor from coming down for a decent bit of time. Hoping maybe that Dark tried to get a cheeky tumor down while the queen was on its way back, and he kind of double checks. Just a little double pump fake. Oh, that was a little bit of a risky move right there with the Reaper. He could have easily lost that to the queens. Was a little bit pinned against the wall, but Dark wasn't in position to let those queens to punish. And Cure, for his time, is going to be going for Banshees. And that is one of the most expected things you can see from Cure, is fast 3rd CC cloaked Banshee. Now, why does he do that? Because it's a very good, very stable, very safe build. But it's not great in terms of exploitability. Which is to say, if you do it all the time, your opponents are going to expect it. And while it's pretty much safe against just about everything that's not on 2 bases, which you can easily scout with the Reaper, it's predictable when you do it all the time, and Cure certainly does. But yeah, I mean, Dark still scouts him, so he's still going to throw away an Overlord, figuring out that Cure is doing the same thing he basically always does. Now Dark behind this, quick 4th hatch, quick layer, and he's doing a good job so far of zoning out these Hellions. Cure, what I would love to see him do a little bit more of is stuff like delaying the starport entirely and going for a very quick 2nd and 3rd barracks, maybe going for very quick engineering bays, and just trying to mix up his timings to make himself a little bit more powerful. Now, Dark, to his credit, he is the kind of player that would scout for that kind of thing and, skip spores, get very quick upgrades if that were the case. But we're not going to see that. The other thing that's important to mention is that Cure keeps these Banshees alive so effectively. He is extremely good at keeping them up and running, and they can provide a lot of utility in the mid-game. Dark, he's going for a Roach Warren as well as that double Evo. I would not be surprised if he opens up fast +1 missile, +1 missile, +1 Carapace, and then goes into a quick +2 Carapace and kind of a 2-1-1 timing. But it looks like that's not what we're going to see at all. Or actually, it'd be 1-1-2. We are going to see the melee upgrade and the Roach upgrade. So this is something else that Dark will do, where he'll build a bunch of Roaches to stabilize in the mid-game, but still focus on Lings as his upgrade pattern, as his upgrade of choice. It's kind of a Dark special, and I do like it. I do like when he does this kind of thing. It feels like Dark is like completely impervious to being all in because of the way he plays. Feels like he can basically never be killed in the early stages of the game, and that's such a boon for him. Now, we are going to be seeing a very quick Infestation Pit Baneling Nest coming on in from Dark, and a few Ravagers. Meanwhile, Cure adding on 3 more Barracks is... Wait, does he doesn't have the 4th command center done, right? This is an 8 racks. As the mighty Salvatore D'Amore would say, all roads lead to 8 racks. Now, I wonder if this is going to be like the Tech Lab version of the 8 racks, or if it's going to be Reactor 8 racks, where you're building 15 Marines at a time, or what we're going to see. We'll see in just a little bit. Dark, for his part, he will have these roaches, and those are going to be very sturdy at dealing with an 8 racks. The ability to corrosive bile down tanks when they leave themselves exposed. There's a lot of advantages. Okay, there we go. We've got the 3 additional tech labs coming on in. So this is going to be heavy Marauder play out of Cure. Can, of course, expand behind this. For now, he's got the 2 sets of double drops kind of sharking around. One on the bottom side, one on the top right. This is just going to be to occupy Dark and find as much damage as he can while powering up on this very strong army. This very strong 3-base timing he's going to be going for. Cure will be able to clear up a lot of creep, actually, on the right side. This is going to open things up a little bit. Ooh, does snipe down a Ravager as well. Pretty successful little drop here from Cure. Dark is going to drive that Banshee back home. Dark also getting into a fast Hive, which against an 8 racks play, even if it's this... Well, I mean, I guess especially against this late one, even if it's one that's a lot heavier focused on the bio, having like 2 or 3 Vipers for blinding clouds or abducts on tanks or even parasitic bombs on medevacs is going to be so effective. Lings in the main base. Well, the spawning pool is actually really providing a nice choke for these Marines, but I believe the Lings will be able to eventually take care of this. We don't see Adrenal Glands just yet on the way. Oh, and there's the Banelings. They will show up. Here comes the siege tanks from Cure. Dark, got to be so careful right here. Does he have any units on the top side? I don't think so just yet. He's waiting for his additional Roaches and Ravagers to get in, and he's going to pull the trigger. He is just going to go for it and try and get this done. There is a drop on the top side, but it is the main engagement that we're focused on right now. Dark will be able to get in on top of the bio and really getting on top of the tanks as well. Able to take down all the tanks, only a little bit of bio remaining. The drop on the right side, I believe, was held by Dark. I think he was able to transfuse those queens for a while, so they're able to really hold their own against a lot of bio. And now, Ultralisk Cavern on the way, Viper starting on up. That was before 2-2 Cure, so it feels like he wasn't able to take the kind of engagement that he wanted to off the upgrade lead. 2-2 for Dark is only seconds behind Cure's 2-2 anyways, so there really wasn't much of a timing there regardless. Cure is heavily committed on 3 bases. Still, he might be able to get something done. Ling, Bane, Roach, Ravager trying to get some big work done, but actually Cure, I mean, he holds the line, and Dark might be forced to give up this 5th base. Liberator's being added on as well, which will give a lot of positional advantage to Cure. Dark, where is that one Viper? Where is that one Viper of Dark? We're going to see, oh, a big counterattack coming on in. Will look for reinforcements, but, I mean, there's actually just too many reinforcements to fight right there. Adrenal Glands is on the way for Dark, and that's going to be a big boon if he can get that up and running. Dark, at this point, he's lost his 5th base, and now his 3rd base is actually being heavily pressured. This is looking very scary. Now, the Liberators will still be vulnerable to those corrosive biles, but they can set up in some funky high ground locations. Dark, there it is. He is going to go for it. Where are the blinding clouds? Oh, it's going to be parasitic bombs on the medevacs. Siege tank on the backside will get taken out, and the other one on the low ground is going to get taken down as well. Dark now pushing his opponent onto his own creep. But does he have enough? It doesn't look like it. Cure is actually still ahead in army supply right now. This is looking like we might just see Cure getting the clutch of all clutches. Baneling's trying to morph on in from Dark, but Cure is really putting the pressure on. This 3-base push has really found some momentum here. Dark forced to give up his 3rd base after he fought for it, which is so painful. We do have chitinous plating on the way, but Cure behind this starts up 3-3. He can lift his main command center or build a 4th. At this point, I think you almost want to lift the main just to keep the momentum up. He's cleared up so much creep in the middle of the map. Cure is really got the bit between his teeth, and he does not want to give up the momentum right now. He has completely pruned the creep back. There's barely any creep between the bases. There's not even creep at this point connecting up this new 4th base from Dark. And Cure, oh, he's got such a big concave. Huge stim. Now, the one thing for Cure is that he actually has, like, looks like no medevac energy to speak of, but does it even matter if you've got so much more army than your opponent? Chitinous Plating, though, is now done for Dark, and the Ultralisks are on the field. This army is a lot of Marines, but it looks like there's so much stuff. Ling counterattack on the other side of the map. 2-2 Cracklings will get in and get some good work done. The Viper needs to charge up a little bit more energy, but the hatchery it was sucking is now dead. SCVs are starting to fall. This is turning into a wild game. Corrosive Biles do connect on a little bit of the bio here. Ravagers trying to get some value. And Cure actually losing a fair bit to those Biles. Meanwhile, Lings on the other side are finding some really good work. Really making some progress. Drones being pulled around the map. Oh, the Ultras getting caught behind the Ravagers, but the Ravagers do get some Corrosive Biles. Nope, they will get dodged by Cure. Dark able to save those Ultras, though. But this is now the scrappiest game. It is a significant army supply advantage, and now we're going to see that 3-3 finally finish up here for Cure, which will give him a massive advantage in the fight. But if Dark can get in on top of that newest base, he can gut it. There is... Oh my god, Dark, no, he's not going to look. He's not going to find the newest base. Did he even see it now? He didn't see it. Oh, that's so painful for Dark. Dark adding on Infestors. He does still have this base on the top right side up and running. But Cure has this freshest base able to mine. Big counterattack of Ling Ultra on the top side. Does get found by just a single Marauder, which is going to allow Cure to get some units back in position. I do love the addition of Infestors from Dark. He's got a huge gas bank, and his opponent is still on a... Well, I mean, both players are on a relatively poor economy at this point. Oh, that's a really nice find for Cure. Dark not in position. Cure gonna target down the hatchery, and he will be able to get it, and even saves... I mean, he only saves 2 Marines. No, actually, he did get a full medevac out of there. Never mind. Oh, he saved so much. That is a massive pickoff for Cure. Dark is now basically not mining. He's pretty much long-distance mining one base at this point. Dark needs the fungal growths of his life to be able to turn this one back around. This is looking catastrophic at this point for Dark. But if there is one player in the entire world who could do this, it is Dark. Dark is the king of playing from bad situations. However, this is about as bad as they come, while still technically being a game. He's got no creep on the map. Okay, fungal growth does come on in. There are a couple more fungals. They do get some decent connections, but there is a really large army from Cure, and most of the Infestors are now out of energy. I think there's a couple more fungals in the back. A couple of Infestors are fresh, so I don't know if they do have fungals. Oh, there's one pretty good fungal right here. Attacking up a ramp, though, is not the wave. We do have a decent blinding cloud, but it's not enough. Ultralisk's gonna try and get some, get some connections, but there's no transfuses to keep them alive. There's nothing here. There's a third Ultralisk joining up, and a nice fungal growth to pair with it, but there's just no army for Dark. Cure up so much army supply is finally gonna be able to do it against his rival. What a clutch victory there for Cure, and you can see a big smile on his face, even though we only see 3/4 of it. Amazing game from Cure. And just like that, ABYDOS clutches it out in the ace match, takes down Dragon KaiZi Gaming, one of the favorites to win the whole season. And that is a huge win. They will collect their 2 points, and they will be happy about it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out the rest of the World Team League videos. I've got them all up here from this regular season. So, yeah, check them out. Check out the playlist.